We are starting this evening by queering up breaking news. Florida declares war on Wilton, Fort Lauderdale, Miami Beach over rainbows. Florida has declared war on what Queer News Tonight has called the gayest place on planet Earth. Today, the Florida Department of Transportation has said rainbow embracements in Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami Beach must remove their city rainbow crosswalks or face major funding retribution from the state. Miami Beach Commissioner Joseph McGinsey said on Facebook that the state informed Miami Beach that the city, quote, must remove all artistic crosswalks, specifically the rainbow-colored crosswalk on Ocean Drive and 12th Street, which has for so long stood as a welcoming sign to our LGBT community. This is complete and utter bullshit that the state has no business getting involved in. I am unequivocal in my support and championing of our LGBT community. And that crosswalk was a welcome sign for everyone. It bothered no one, end quote. Fort Lauderdale Mayor Dean Trantalis, a member of the LGBTQ community, said he expects that the city will soon be questioned about its street designs, including the rainbow art along Fort Lauderdale Beach. He said, quote, it had been determined that if we brightened up a certain intersection, it would bring people's attention that they're entering the intersection, end quote. Trantalis was asked today what Fort Lauderdale will do if they receive the FDOT letter, and he said, quote, we have to wait to see what the letter says, end quote. A representative from the city of Wilton Manors, who asked to not be named, said the Rainbow Bridge on Wilton Drive has been questioned. The representative indicated the argument with FDOT will focus on the argument that it is a design on the side of the road, not the state road directly. The state gave similar orders recently to Delray Beach and Key West, which plan to fight the mandate. The Florida Department of Transportation has warned that non-compliance beyond September 3rd could lead to state funding cuts. Miami Beach Republican Rep. Fabian Basabe, who voted in 2023 to expand Florida's restrictions on classroom LGBTQ inclusion to all public school grades, sent a letter Tuesday requesting a public hearing on the matter. Basabe said, quote, my LGBTQ community in particular has expressed that they constantly feel under attack. It is important to me that the state listen to these voices directly in a fair and transparent process that respects everyone who calls Miami Beach home, end quote. Queer News Tonight's Al Ferguson spoke to Basabe today and said this is largely performative politics and that there are many solutions that must be pursued. Queer News Tonight will be following this developing story closely. This is ridiculous. How does a right-wing conservative justify this action? What is a rainbow road doing to anybody except brightening up the area? It may be a little bit of gentrification, I will be honest, but it is a painted road. How is that bothering anybody that's not homophobic? Genuinely, I'm asking. I'm asking.
It's not. It's not. I mean, my issue is jurisdiction. This is not from the state or should be from the state or the federal level. This is every city, every municipality, like they get to decide these things. And so how dare Trump and DeSantis and those people in power at the federal level to dictate what we as the citizens in our individual cities get to see. That's a local issue. And so every conservative should be outraged over this, whether you are in favor of gay rights or not, or rainbows or whatever, that this kind of power, this is big government overreach. And the moment that they do that, remember, as soon as the tide changes and you have a more liberal president or governor, they will have the power to do the same thing and put in all the things that you hate. So as a conservative, not me as a conservative, I'm not a conservative, but I'm saying if you are a conservative who is in favor of this, just remember the tide will change. Do you want to give that kind of power? All right, we need to be fighting this. And in answer to your question, who is this hurting? Where are the accident records? All right, the Department of Transportation, where is it saying that anywhere that this is causing an accident or they're more prone to accidents? If that's not the case, then you must acquit, okay? Oh,
hello.
Well,
love on, baby.
You know, I think the quote from Joe Magazine, who is actually considered to be quite a right-wing person in life, the commissioner in Miami Beach, gave a very bold statement, and he was on point in what he said. I was on the LGBTQI advisory board in Miami Beach when we got these We tried for years to get the crosswalks approved. So I have a personal affront with this particular matter. And actually the ones in Miami Beach are Art Deco palette. So they're not even the traditional rainbow colors. So I don't even know how it's a stretch to even demand that they be taken down. And all of it is to say, why? Because it's just diversion tactics from the important matters of education, healthcare, et cetera, people being held in detentions, and all these things that are really, really important and matter. It's just insanity, and they seem to be okay with swastikas and Confederate flags.
Right.
I mean, hello.
Like it's nothing. What you think, Aubrey?
It's just really ridiculous that they're going to be using our tax dollars to erase or just to get rid of all of the colors on the street. Whereas, we could be using those resources, obviously, for better things. This is obviously just an attempt to just, really get our goat, with this. But, we're very crafty. Look at Wilton Manors. That we painted a bridge. So we'll paint another bridge. We'll keep throwing the flag out there in many different ways. If it's not on a crosswalk, it's going to be on a building or it's going to be somewhere else. It's not going anywhere.
Nah, I'll get it tattooed on my ass if I have to.
That's a big flag.
You're going to see more rainbow representations throughout Florida once this starts.
You're just going to piss off and galvanize the queer people. You do not want to galvanize queer person. We can change the world. We have 4 queer artists right here, right in front of you. When you piss us off, babe, we get going. We will drag you up.
You think you saw rainbow? You ain't seen nothing yet.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Wait till you see that bootylicious rainbow.
And it's just so silly. What are we really arguing about? Like colors.
Right.
Colors.
Colors on the floor.
But it's really indicative. It's really kind of indicative of that right wing altogether.
I love this color.
Right.
It's like, what?
Well, they're doing it because their tactic, and it's working, it has been working, that's how we got elected, is to make these culture war issues that have nothing to do with our economy, that have represent this percentage of America, to make those the headlines.
The cultural issues become the divisive issues.
Exactly, which it's
and
not
that's how they get the votes of the people who are going to be hurt most by their policies.
Yeah, so people, you know what, whether you're for or against it, demand that they actually use the airtime on this 24-hour news cycle to talk about the things that are really affecting our country.
Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ plus streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached 11 million views, and Queer News Tonight has been the most watched LGBTQ plus news and lifestyle show in the world in 2025.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ plus community. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Wednesday, August 20th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show. Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community.
We want to inform and educate on the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community. We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ television stories.
We present South Florida's major LGBTQ plus events, including Pride for Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our nonprofit 501c3 magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ+ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ+ community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Starting off with, we're welcoming anchor Edward Otto Zielke, an accomplished brand influencer and marketing leader with a dynamic background in financial services and travel marketing. Edward currently serves as the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship, money, for the Game and Chorus of South Florida. He also serves on the GALA Choruses Communications Committee. Edward, baby, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
And I believe you because you look fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you. That's quite a compliment coming from you.
That's right. I am the end-all, be-all of who looks good. Now, let's see if that continues. Next, let's welcome TriniDaddy. He is a violinist and pianist with the Miami City Ballet and is the program director for the Seminole Theater Players in Homestead. TriniDaddy, I've never said this to you before. You look amazing. But also, I'm genuinely impressed by your talents. Genuinely impressed, from what you can do. I can't do anything that you do.
Thank you.
Gagged, pooped, and gagged. And that's how you shut that up.
That was the goal.
That was it.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Achieved.
I appreciate that.
Very welcome. Next, let's welcome anchor Dale Stine, a celebrated photographer in the LGBTQ+ community. He is the director of music ministry at the famous Unity on the Bay and a moderator of Miami Gay List. Now, this handsome man right here is very handsome, but also I've had the pleasure of being in front of his camera, I think more than once, and probably with my clothes on. So I want to say, hello, baby, how you doing?
Not many clothes.
I wasn't wearing a whole lot. It's still me, but I was honored to be in front of his camera. So how you doing, baby?
Thank you. It's great to see you. And I haven't photographed Bonnie, but yeah. And you were really serving face tonight and giving that shoulder. I love the shoulder that Bonnie gives.
Girl, you see
shoulder. She gives that shoulder.
What about the fat tits?
Right?
You like that as well?
And also, in terms of Gay List, I'm also on Instagram as Queer List Official. So I do that as a pro bono thing for the community. So if you want to promote any of your events, just tag me. Don't make me work hard because it's pro bono, bitch. So tag me and I will share whatever you want me to share as long as it's
fantastic.
That's very true.
Oh, and of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Bonnie Builder. She is the premier South Florida's bodybuilding drag queen and the former reigning Mixed Mary's Wilton Manors. Welcome, Bonnie Builder.
Thank you so much. I have the true honor of being the most attractive drag queen in all of South Florida. So thank you for having me here tonight as your host. And now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ+ story for today. I'm Bonnie Builder, and let's grab gay culture. John Cena's Peacemaker returns with bisexual orgies and Grindr-Ready mayhem. John Cena is back as Peacemaker, and he's bringing bisexual chaos, outrageous humor, and the kind of over-the-top antics only James Gunn could dream up. It's been a long wait. More than 3.5 years since the series first premiered, but the hit DC show is finally returning for season 2. The new Red Band trailer just dropped, and it's every bit as wild, raunchy, and unapologetically queer as fans had hoped. In a recent promo video, Gunn challenged Cena to a cheeky game of Would You Rather. Gunn asked, quote, "All right, you can stop an alien invasion, but you have to eliminate one of these. A, an alien intruder disguised as a bald eagle, or B, your Tinder date for the night." Cena didn't miss a beat answering, "I don't think he would eliminate a bald eagle, and if he had to eliminate a Tinder date, he would just go to Grindr and find another date. The great thing about Peacemaker is that all apps are welcome all the time," end quote. The cast this season includes Danielle Brooks, Freddie Stroman, Jennifer Holland, Steve Agee, Robert Patrick, Frank Grillo, David Denman, Sol Rodriguez, and Tim Meadows. And yes, Vigilante is back too. Hilariously awkward as ever. From queer jokes to unapologetic debauchery, Peacemaker Season 2 looks ready to smash boundaries again. Fans can stream the trailer now. The season is scheduled to premiere tomorrow, August 21st at 9 p.m. on Mask. Now, I will say this. I watched the show, I think, a year and a half after it came out. and it is one of those shows that is very easy to jerk off to. John Cena.
Wow.
I don't like giving compliments to generically handsome, seemingly straight white men, but this man has earned it. He is fine. That's a good man. That's a good looking man. And I think he would appreciate the comment that his show is very easy to jerk off to. Do you think he's liberal? Politically?
Well, I would.
I mean, how could he not be?
You can't say that out loud because, like, in the world of wrestling, it tends to leans pretty conservative.
It does. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm embarrassed that I haven't seen this show because I will follow John Cena to the end of the earth.
Maybe,
like, he's probably my biggest straight male crush. Him and probably the original daddy is Chris Maloney from Oz.
From Oz.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So. No shade to Pedro Pascal. Like, I don't quite understand. I understand it a little bit why he's everybody's daddy and everything, but I mean, for me, it doesn't compare to John Cena and Chris Maloney. And as I said that, I looked him up and I realized we're the same age. So
baby.
Thing that I'm not so sure
Yeah,
about.
but he gives that different vibe.
He does.
That's the vibe.
I mean, he's a big dude too.
Yeah.
Now, I will also want to mention, usually we would play the trailer for like movies and shows.
There was a little bit.
We looked it up on my phone. We cannot play this trailer on Queer News Tonight.
So y'all be sure to look for it.
Hello. Look up the trailer. Within the first 3 seconds, there is just naked bodies everywhere. So season 2 is also going to be really easy to jerk off to. Speaking of jerking off, Edward, what do you think?
Oh, wow. What a segue. What were we talking about?
Gotcha.
No, I think it's so great to have these type of heroes that we kind of identify with in the LGBTQ plus community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Marvel comics and the superheroes that we have, and I think that resonates with people, in our community. And it's so great to see somebody like him. Who knows if he, what side of the street he's on in terms of his political views, but he's obviously, very comfortable with what he's doing and how he's being. So, it's great. And that's really what you're just asking for from everybody.
Yeah, bisexual orgies. What else do you want?
He knows his audience.
He knows his audience. And speaking to our audience, please comment down below your favorite John Cena body part.
Please do.
With that being said, that is a big LGBTQ plus story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing to and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Horror, camp, and s'mores. Frankenstein Day hits Fort Lauderdale Beach on August 30th. It's alive! This 30th Frankenstein Day is coming to life in a way only South Florida LGBTQ plus community could pull off, with a beachside horror bash under the stars. The Wilton Manor's horror hunks, scream queens, and occult non-conforming, a community committed to fostering genuine connections among the LGBTQ plus people in Wilton Manors and Greater Fort Lauderdale, is inviting the queers to Fort Lauderdale Beach to celebrate World Frankenstein Day. The event will honor Mary Shelley's groundbreaking 1818 novel, Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus, with a night that mixes camp, cinema, and the candlelit seaside picnic. For many queer people, Frankenstein is part of the queer history. Shelley herself was believed to be bisexual and lived among radicals and nonconformists, surrounded by people who challenged gender and sexual norms. And her creation has long resonated with queer audiences as a symbol of the outsider, longing for love and recognition in a world that rejects difference. Hollywood's imprint made it even gayer. Director James Whale, an openly gay filmmaker in the 1930s, infused Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein with camp, wit, and subversive edge that critics now read as queer-coded. Whale's Bride of Frankenstein especially has become a cult favorite. The event kicks off at 7:30 p.m. with movies starting at 8 p.m. across from Hugh Taylor Birch State Park. Organizers are promising a double feature screening of the iconic Frankenstein 1931 and Bride of Frankenstein 1935, with Son of Frankenstein possibly rounding out the night for anyone who could hang out until the witching hour. August 30th also happens to be World Toasted Marshmallow Day, World Bacon Day, and World Beach Day. So organizers are also encouraging attendees to bring potluck goodies ranging from bacon wrapped monster bites to toasted marshmallow mummies. A costume contest will also be held on the same day to crown the best Frankenstein, bride, or mad scientist with prizes. More information about the entry and the event will be available on Instagram at WiltonHSO. This sounds like a really fun event.
Yes, it does.
You know, I do like a lot of horror movies, and they've always kind of resonated with me, but, you know, I always love the classics, and I love Frankenstein, and I've always loved the adaptations of that. You know, it does stem from a lot of queer love.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so great.
Forbidden.
I mean, yeah, and who would have known back in the 1930s we have queer people in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Wow, you know, I mean, like, we've been around for what? Ages and centuries and stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we write the best books, we write tell the best stories. So, you know, of course this comes from a queer mind. So I look forward to this, and I mean,
and the things you learn,
nice.
I had no idea there was a Frankenstein day until this month, and a marshmallow day. I mean, how many things can you throw at that damn day?
Well, that's pretty crafty of us. You know, we could take things like World Bacon Day and World Beach Day and Marshmallow Day and tie it all into a horror camp.
Baby, call this a Bonnie Day, because those are things I love. I'll be eating bacon and fucking s'mores on the beach, watching some Frankenstein. I didn't know Frankenstein had a son, to be quite honest. I thought he only had a bride. I thought they were incontinent. What's the word I'm looking for?
No,
when you can't
not incontinent,
that's something different.
Completely different.
Something different. You're backed up regardless.
They were childless.
Childless. I didn't know they could have a child. I didn't know their body parts worked. But I am a huge horror gay through and through. And to have one of the figures from the classic horror universe, cinematic universe, be celebrated and represented in this way is very exciting. Like, Frankenstein, to be quite honest, will never get old. Dracula will never get old. The Mummy will never get old. They have gone through time and time again being forward figures of the horror movie genre. So I'm very happy to celebrate this, and I'm happy that the queer community loves horror. There's just something about this antagonist that is ostracized by everyone else in the film, and yet they are typically the most badass, the most glamorous, the most campy.
And we're always rooting for them. We're always rooting.
And that's who we identify with.
Yes.
I mean, look who I'm sitting next to.
A killer. A born killer.
Here's queen, you know.
The straightest thing I've ever done is kill the guy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You take it.
What? I'm a horror fan through and through.
I love horror
do
too.
believe that it does have something to do with our gay identity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that the people who produce the horror films, they had to have been thinking something gay. Yes. Because maybe gay producers, maybe they were hiding out like, oh, I'll just produce this gay film. I mean, this horror film. Because there's just always something for the gay eyes in horror films. You know, whether it was Friday the 13th, you're watching all these sex scenes, you know, whether it's Interview with the Vampire, and you're like, they're getting a little bit too close to one another. And it's on the beach. Like, you know, I want the sand. Like, I love the beach at night. Is my favorite thing, one of my favorite things. Very, very high up on the list is to be on the beach at night and watch the moonlight and all of that stuff. So the
love of your life is watching.
That.
Tell him.
Huh?
The love of your life is watching.
Yes,
tell
come
him.
to that beach. But unless you're one of the occult nonconformists,
then keep your ass home.
you can keep your Ouija board on this side of me. Like, I love horror and everything, but I was raised too Christian. I'm not religious now, but you know, I'm an angel.
But just in case. But just in case. Whoever gave The Bride of Frankenstein an updo was a queer person.
Hello.
With that being said, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing to and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm TriniDaddy, and let's queer up gay culture. Aging like fine wine, Lenny Kravitz and our other gay icons. It's no secret that Lenny Kravitz has not aged in over 30 years. While you would never know it, the rock icon is 61 with about as many exposed abs. Recently, Kravitz threw the internet into a frenzy after sharing a black and white photo of himself strolling shirtless around his Las Vegas hotel room. Kravitz, who has long been a proud LGBTQ ally, continues to embody what it means to age with grace and style. And he's not alone. Our elder gays have been proving time and again that getting older doesn't mean fading out. It means shining even brighter. Cultural stereotypes have long suggested that gay men age more youthfully than their straight counterparts. It's true. Looking around, it's hard to argue. Take Tom Ford, 63, still the epitome of timelessness and style. Sam Champion, 64, the Good Morning America weatherman, who always brings the heat. RuPaul, also 64. Alan Cumming, 60, serving dapper on and off the traders. Rupert Everett, 66, is forever camera ready. Director Adam Shankman, 60, is captivating as ever. And Darren Star, 64, who has the handsome thing firmly on lock. So while Lenny Kravitz may seem immortal, he's in fabulous company, reminding us all that aging can be as hot as the Vegas sun. Well, right here, evidence. Let's not also discount the elephant in the room that a little bit of melanin does play a role in Lenny Kravitz. I would say Lenny Kravitz is kind of here. Everybody else, you're aging wonderfully. Maybe a little bit underneath here. I think it's obvious that gay men think much more about their appearance than straight men. We are youth obsessed. Yeah. We are weight obsessed. We are skincare obsessed. We are sex obsessed, even into our older years. So we're always trying to make sure that we are in, making sure that we're doing the best for ourselves. So we're probably more likely to do some of the Botox, some of the other treatments that are around. So obviously it makes sense, but I do have a little special place in my heart for Lenny Kravitz because not only is he this fine man, he's also my style icon. I've loved Lenny Kravitz for a long time. I think he's broken so many gender barriers, and in his fashion has just been incredible, and he's looked at still as the masculine heartthrob heterosexual male. Yeah. And so
sort of like that Prince thing.
Yeah, totally the Prince thing, but even more. Not more sexual because Prince was very sexual, but I think it's because Lenny shows the body so much more, and we really see what's under the clothing. So
we saw when his pants were up,
which we really appreciate. You know.
Big fan of Lenny Kravitz. I will say this: a part of me feels like the fact that we were stunted in grade school contributes to the fact that we look fresher longer, because we didn't exhaust ourselves, we didn't tire ourselves out in grade school, dating everybody, being out there and stuff like that. There were some queer people who do that, and especially more so now than way back when they were in grade school. But like in that time, we had to be a lot more closeted to ourselves, reserved, so that when we finally came out, we lost first through fucking 8th to 12th grade. We lost 12 years. We lost 12 years of life. So every queer person in the world, not slave, every queer person in the world looks 12 years younger than every straight person. Look around. You watching this video, call your mama.
Not
look at
everybody.
her. You look, in most cases, we're stunted in grade school, so we look, and this is science, we look 12 years younger than any straight person. Find a straight person on your social media that's your exact same age. I guarantee, queer person, you look better than them.
But if you go to like a high school reunion or something, then you see it played out really big time for you. Like, wow. Yeah. Okay, what happened to these people? But bodybuilder has spoken about science, and I think that kind of like just says it all.
We're going to school for science, so you got to believe me.
It gives me something to look forward to when I enter my 60s. I see a lot of a lot of the LGBTQ plus icons that we have that are still thriving today and taking care of themselves. And that's really important. I remember always, growing up, taking care of my skin and things like that. It was just what, as a closeted gay boy would do, in terms of, I didn't also have a lot of friends and I wasn't athletic. So, I was, taking care of myself other ways. So why not? We do look beautiful.
Indoor activities.
Yeah. Did y'all ever have like a weird hack in grade school that you did that you felt like would make you feel prettier when it actually did nothing? Okay, I'm telling myself. When I was in grade school, I would put toothpaste on my eyebrows because I thought it made them shinier. And ultimately, I think I was just putting toothpaste on my eyebrows to feel like I had some sort of morning routine, like my mom had. It was like, I brush my teeth. Okay, and then just like, here, let it sit for like 30 seconds to a minute. Take them off. Ooh, my eyebrows are so shiny now. As if that meant anything.
You were baking your eyebrows.
I was baking my eyebrows in fluoride because I was like, my eyebrows are dull, baby, and they're going to shine today. So that's what we as queer people had to do. We weren't out there being social. We were in our bathrooms doing weird shit to our faces.
Obsessing about it. I was always conscious about my lips. So, I would either be biting my lips or I would be putting Vaseline on it or something just so that it would accentuate it and stuff. So, yeah, this is what we would do.
For me, it was my hair. I was very much Uncle Jesse on Full House.
That
too. Yeah,
It was always everything. My hair had to be exactly in place and just gorgeous and luscious.
I went to school in the 80s. We were all about the hairspray. So it was all the way up in the air.
The big hair.
And yeah,
the big
it would
hair.
take hours. So
No, that's true. Well, that is a big LGBTQ plus story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing to and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBT plus story for today. I'm Dale Stein, and let's queer up entertainment. Aubrey Plaza opens up on Grief and Amy Poehler podcast. LGBTQ ally and the community's favorite actress, Aubrey Plaza, has stepped back into the public eye for the first time since losing her husband earlier this year. The beloved queer favorite joined longtime friend and fellow Parks and Rec star Amy Poehler on Poehler's podcast, Good Hang, where she spoke candidly about grief, healing, and what it feels like to move forward. Poehler opened the conversation with tenderness, telling Plaza, quote, "You've had this terrible, terrible, tragic year. You lost your husband, you've been dealing with that, and you've been looking for all different ways in which to feel and find support. On behalf of all the people who feel like they know you and the people who do know you, how are you feeling today?" End quote. Plaza paused before answering, quote, "Right in this very, very present moment, I feel happy to be with you. Overall, I'm here and I'm functioning. I feel really grateful to be moving through the world. I think I'm okay, but it's like a daily struggle, obviously," end quote. She went on to describe her grief in vivid terms, comparing it to the 2025 film The Gorge. She said the imagery of cliffs and monsters in the movie resonated with her. Plaza added that her grief feels, quote, like a giant ocean of awfulness that's like right there and I can see it. Sometimes I just want to dive into it and just like be in it. Then sometimes I just look at it and sometimes I try to get away from it. But it's always there, end quote. All over the world, queer people and allies are praising Poehler for starting the conversation with empathy and tenderness. Her new film, Aubrey's new film, Honey Don't, is hitting theaters August 22nd. This is the kind of conversation that I find to be very important, very moving, and very brave, because these are the things we tend not to talk about so much. Have you watched Amy Poehler's podcast at all? It's quite wonderful. It's really wonderful. I've watched a few guests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I haven't watched this particular episode, but I'm going to now. And I think Aubrey Plaza is a wonderful actor. And when your partner and everyone knows that your husband, rather, has committed suicide, I think it takes even more bravery to be bold and outspoken in how you're feeling in your grief. So kudos to both Amy Poehler for her podcast and Aubrey Plaza.
It humanizes it, I mean, you listen to the experience. I personally don't know, I can't recall anybody in my life dying of such a tragic death, but I've had tragic deaths in my life. So I know what that process is like, and I know that it takes time, and sometimes it's a daily thing. Sometimes, you're just a mess, and sometimes, you're okay. So it's good that you see that people are just checking in right away with the person that they're interviewing. Amy Poehler is fantastic for doing that, humanizing it for us, and relatable. So yeah, it's something that I'm going to definitely tune in to look at as well.
Yeah, my heart goes out to Miss Aubrey. I'm also fretting anything like that happening to me personally. This sounds like one of the most tragic things that could happen to a human being, when you finally find the love of your life, someone you've just outright decided you are mine until the very end, and their life, through whatever means, is cut shorter than yours. You never want to outlive your loved ones. You just never do. You never want to have that feeling. And I think the way she described her grief painted a very clear picture. It's never going to be completely okay. You actively have to make the choice to continue living, to continue doing, to continue working, creating. Then there's always the option of, like, I could just sit here in this grief and just wallow away. but like it's your decision to make, and that decision is always there. This is a truly frightening instance that happened, and Aubrey, never met you, but you have my support. This is so heartbreaking, so very heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's I just missed the AIDS crisis I call it the Holocaust in New York. I'm probably about 10 years younger than most of the men that I know that lost so many people, their partners, their friends, and maybe when I was about 35, I lost somebody to suicide who I had a lot of feelings for, and he worked in South Florida and bartending, the gay bars world, and it was really devastating to deal with that. And it was 1 year after I had lost my mother, and actually losing him was something that kind of snapped me out of the grief that I was in before, realizing how young and how much more life that some of our gay brothers and sisters had left to live. So I think maybe it resonated a little bit with me, this story of just the gay community and how often we lose people way too early and how that affects our community. So my heart goes out to you, Aubrey.
And with that is a big LGBTQ plus story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing to and sharing Queer News Tonight. As a nonprofit LGBTQ plus media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We also thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ plus community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ plus community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Bonnie Builder, and I wish you a fabulous evening on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Edward Otto Zielke, Dale Stine and TriniDaddy. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we hope you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, be transformative, and be queer. Good night.
Night.